All right, so we were on this cell question, and we just kind of reasoned through that if we wanted to find the largest angle, it was going to be between the two shortest sides. So we knew that we were going to start off by finding angle B, which means our cosine law is going to start off with 4 squared. Okay, 4 squared equals. So we're finding angle B. We start off with 4 squared equals. And the other two sides squared added up. Minus twice each of the two sides times the cosine of angle B. Okay, so that should be your first line. And then you're practicing that procedure of using reverse BEDMAS to get angle, in this case, B by itself. So you're going to subtract the squares on both sides first. That's the first step. So subtracting the squares on both sides to create 0 pairs and undo the adding. And then let the calculator do the work. So 4 squared minus 3.5 squared minus 3.2 squared, which is negative 6.49. Then you remember to multiply the 3 numbers in front of that are multiplying cos B together. So negative 2, don't drop the negative, the common mistake. And that gives you negative 22.4 times the cos of angle B. And now you've just made that pretty complicated looking equation look much easier, okay, by doing that. So it's angle B you want to get by itself. So the first thing you do to both sides is divide by the coefficient up front, which is negative 22.4. So now you're left with cos B on one side of your equation. And I see 2 negatives divided give me a positive, so I'm not going to write them down, but you could write them down, and if you put them into your calculator properly, you'll still get the right answer. That's the cosine of angle B. To get angle B, you have to do the cos inverse. So to undo cos, it's cos inverse. And that's going to give you angle B. And that is our largest angle. It will turn out to be the largest angle because it's between the two shortest sides. (73°) the nearest degree. Okay, so a dot for approximately 73 degrees. Is everybody good there? So now if we go back to yesterday, we have a side angle pair now. So now that we know this is 73 degrees, we now know a side and its opposite angle. So we can find another angle, doesn't matter which one. If you want to find angle R, we can find angle R, and its opposite side is 3.5. So if we want to do that, we could use the sine law to find angle R. But when we use the sine law to find an angle, we want to have the angle on top. So we're going to start off with the sine of angle R over its opposite side, which is 3.5, equals the sine of the angle we know, which is 73 degrees. It's angle B over side B, which is 4. So that's back to yesterday's question. And you first want to multiply both sides by 3.5 to undo the divide by 3.5. And then you want to do the side inverse to get angle R. And then you have to make sure you can enter that into your calculator. So carefully type it in. Did you get 56.8? So 57 degrees, okay. And once you've got two angles, so here's my dot, make sure you put it beside R. You can get the third one just by subtracting 180 minus the other two. So 180 minus 57 minus 73 gives me 50 degrees approximately. They add up to 180, and you can see that the one we found did turn out to be the largest between the two pieces. Okay? All right, the next question, if you read it, asks you to find the largest angle. So I want you guys to analyze the triangle and see if you can figure out which angle is going to be that largest angle. Look at this question here. The largest angle in the triangle. So I'm looking at the three sides. The two shortest sides are 3.4 and 4.1. So the largest angle is going to be angle C. Does everybody see that? Okay, which means that my cosine law is going to start with 5.2 squared equals. See if you can fill in what the rest would look like. Okay, so everybody's got the either 4.1 next or the 3.4 next squared plus 4.1 squared minus twice 3.4 times 4.1 times the cosine of angle C. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you have 4.1 first or 3.4 first, but everybody should have that first one. Everybody good? Okay, what is the next step? If you tell me. Subtract. So we're going to subtract 3.4 squared on both sides and subtract 4.1 squared on both sides. Okay, so that's our next first step. And then do that on your calculator. Don't forget to square them. And that gives you negative 1.33. And then the next step is to multiply the three numbers in front of the cos of the angle together. So negative 2 times 3.4 times 4.1 is negative 27.88 times the cosine of angle C. Okay? So the first step was subtracting on both sides. And then when we did that on the right side, we multiplied the three numbers in front of cos C. The next step is to divide both sides by the number in front of cosine angle C. So on this side, I've just got cos C. And on the other side, I see that two negatives divided by each other make a positive. If you are worried about that, just keep the negatives and enter them in your calculator. Then your last step is to undo cos by doing cos inverse. So angle C is the cos inverse of 1.33 over 27.88. Make sure you enter it into your calculator carefully. 87 degrees. So therefore, the largest angle, and we don't have to try out any of the other ones because we know the largest angle is going to be between the two shortest sides. Okay? So it's smart to know which one to find rather than finding all three and then seeing which one's the largest. Go straight to the one that's between the two shortest sides. Okay? All right, our last question. We'll try to get it done before Miss Pemberton comes in here. If you are on Island A, so you're here, what bearing should you follow to get to Island C? So, oh, that doesn't look like north. Trying to draw straight up and down. So here's straight north. And we can see our answer is going to be north somewhat degrees towards the east. Does everyone agree with that? What angle that's in this diagram would help me figure that angle outside the diagram? Angle A, angle B, or angle C? 5 minutes? Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. It's just because I'm taping for kids at home. Okay. All right, so everyone agree angle A is the one? And then I can subtract it from 90? Okay. So we're going to find that angle. And if we're finding that angle, we're starting with 7 squared equals. Okay? 7 squared equals 5 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 5 times 6 times the cosine of angle A. So if I subtract those, I get negative 12. And then here I want to multiply the 3 numbers in front of cos A. It's negative 16. Divide both sides by negative 60. So the cos A is 12 over 60. These 2 negatives make a positive. Angle A is the cos inverse of 12 over 60, which I want to put in my calculator. Ooh, it's 78 degrees to the nearest degree. So we just figured out that this angle here is 78 degrees. But how does that help me tell the bearing that you should go? Subtract from 90 because this whole quadrant is worth 90. So 90 minus 78 is 12 degrees. Fits in there. Does that make sense? So then you're therefore, you should go, so if you're, very good, you should go north 12 degrees towards the east. And if you go north 12 degrees towards the east, you'll be going in this direction toward Island C. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Okay,